So here we have Uncle Manny preparing the plantain leaves from scratch here, cutting them to size. Looks like it's about a 1 foot by 1 foot square. And after you cut them to size, Uncle Manny, what happens next?
Then you soften them over the heat on the stove. And then...
to increase their pliability.
Right, and then you clean them on both sides. You wipe them down.
Just with a paper towel or something?
Right. And then they're ready to be used.
Yeah. Cool, and I know for each one of those banana leaves, those are banana leaves, correct? Plantain leaves?
These are banana leaves.
And you get them just at Fiesta? You can order big sheets of them? Or?
Yeah, you buy them by the pound.
By the pound, okay.
Yeah.
At Spanish supermarkets, right?
Right.
Okay. Cool, and then for each one of those we have an equally sized sheet of, or larger piece of aluminum that is the outermost wrapping of each pastel.
Right.
Cool. Oops, sorry. I'm just going to zoom in on this working stack you have here.
Oh yeah.
So we are making currently, this small cottage industry is making 100 pasteles today. Thank you, Uncle Manny.
100 pasteles.
So here we have Dad, and he is currently soaking plantains to make the masa and to make it peel more easily. It softens the peel, and then progressively he is actually doing the peeling, which since these are both plantains and green bananas, right?
Right.
So guineo, as it's called in Spanish. And so the skin is generally less ripe and less pliable as well, so you often have to use a knife to peel them. It can be very dangerous as well. And it looks like you're also peeling a little bit the outer portion. Is that just like mushy?
Scrape it, yeah. It's kind of mushy.
Yeah, and you cut the ends off there?
Yeah. Cut the ends.
Let's zoom in on this little bucket of bananas here. Wow, it's a lot. But Grandma doesn't think it's enough still, huh? We're making too much.
Yeah, we're never going to make 100.
So let's watch this process once here. Cut that off.
This process unfolds right before your eyes.
He's very cautious with the knife. As we see here, native Puerto Rican is cooking their traditional Christmas dinner of pasteles. Okay, Dad, actually. So here we have the famous chef and grandmother, Grandma Lola, and she is wearing her protective armor for cooking, which includes a shower cap, among apron, industrial strength slippers, a muumuu, blue like the color of
the sky.
Yeah, exactly. And as we can see here, Grandma is making the carne sofrito, I think is what it's called. And so you can see it's an oversized bowl filled with small cutlets of meat and a mixture of cut peppers. There's Grandma. And let's see. Yeah, so it has poblano pepper, green bell pepper, scallions, jalapeno, garlic, a lot of different things. And Grandma is currently cooking this entire pot here. So as you can see, that's a lot of meat, and that may or may not create 100 pasteles.
¿Con cuánto estamos dando? Ah, sí que.
Recording.
Okay, so the most important perhaps the pasteles preparation process. In addition to, of course, making the masa, making the carne sofrito, etc., and the preparing of the leaf wrapping, like Uncle Manny has been doing, is to cut the strings that actually wrap the banana leaves. Once you create each pastel, you take the banana leaf and then you make the pastel and you wrap it up in the banana leaf, and then you wrap it up in aluminum foil, and then you tie it to seal it with this rope. And this rope is kind of what really makes sure that everything stays together. So it's probably the most structural besides the banana leaf wall
It's jute number
pulper.
25.
Yeah, so, and I have making 100, so each of these slip knot bundles is a group of 10. And as you can see, I'm not very close to finishing. And that's it. So,
how do you get it to stop
you just
recording?
press the record. So here we have Uncle Manny heating up the plantain leaves, the banana leaves, to make them more pliable. So Uncle Manny, what is the purpose of this, and kind of what are the indications that it's heated properly?
This is to make them more flexible because of the ridges that they have. If you don't do this, they will break when you try to seal the pastel inside.
I see. So how do you know here that it's been heated sufficiently?
Well, as the heat hits the leaf, you can see it starting to wilt slightly.
Yeah, it starts bending over the...
Yes.
Turns a
over the
lighter
ridges.
color as well.
It
looks
does
like.
turn a lighter color. And all you do is, see, it does
Wow,
turn
yeah.
a lighter green. And you just do it a little bit.
So this is a conventional gas stove top that you're using here for this heating process.
Sure.
It looks like you have a lot more to go, so I'll let you do it.
Banana, you know, or 80.
So we are about to make the masa here, and Dad is getting out a little bit of each of the different type of masa ingredients, which include platanos, guineo, or plantains and banana, and also a calabaza, or a type of squash that they grew in the backyard that is gigantic. And so with the masa, you try to mix a little bit of each ingredient by grating it in this special bowl that we have over here. This is a special masa making bowl that has a grate at the top of the lid, and then the masa, the grated banana, guineo, platanos, calabaza goes in the inside of the bowl.
Mom's thinking it's an acquired taste.
I know.
It's about 70 to 80% bananas, and then the other 30 to 20% is calabaza,
Y
and
plátanos.
plátanos, yautía, malanga.
What are these other mysterious squashes?
Ones we don't have.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
So you just put what you got in there if you can't find the other products.
Okay, cool. So, right now I am just finishing making the first sort of like unit of masa, which is basically, as Dad and Uncle Manny were saying earlier, is about 80% guineo, or regular banana, or green banana, and then about 20% of the remainder is sort of like different kinds of squashes. This is one kind of squash that they grew in the backyard. And then plantains, or plátanos. And so as you can see, there's a mix of different colors here in the masa. This yellow one is the calabaza, and then the sort of like tannish yellow one in between that one is the platanos, and then the darker one on the outside, which is in the most concentration, is the guineo. And so you basically just like sort of mix this together to have it sort of like as homogeneous as possible. And then, after you mix that, so this is 3 bananas, half of a plátano, and half of this calabaza piece, and pumpkin? Okay. And so once you mix it together and it's all homogeneous, you dump it in this pot, which is sort of our reservoir for all of the masa. So let me mix it really well here.
Head over to the reservoir.
Yeah. So this is our masa collector. And so after I mix it together, put it in here. And then we're ready to begin anew with 3 bananas, half of a plantain, and half of a squash. Hey, Grandma's singing.
Pero aquello que un día nos hizo temblar de
Grandma's peeling more banana as we're in short supply.
Es mentira que hoy pueda olvidar Sé por un nuevo amor.
So here we have Grandma adding some evaporated milk to the masa. This is partly for flavor and partly to reduce the stickiness and viscosity of the mix.
Ah, porque este es fat free, mami.
Pero será bueno.
Sí, lo único no tiene grasa.
This is evaporated milk.
Ah, pues échaselo aquí, que yo lo echa para que tú veas que lo que parece es un agua. Que no fuera que esté dañado.
No, it's fat free. From the.
So you're taking some of the fat and sauce, caldo,
Yeah, some of the caldo.
from the puerco.
You could call it gravy to give it a nice name.
Gravy, yeah. And you're mixing that with the masa.
Yeah.
And this is what makes it brown then, whenever we cook it, right? In addition to the meat itself.
Yeah, the coloring that has that red stuff in it.
Este caldito con
This is
aceite.
pork here mixed with all the vegetables that Uncle Manny cut up. And olives, looks like Spanish
Remember the
olives.
achiote, which makes it reddish.
Achiote, yeah. Paprika and achiote are the red coloring dyes here and spices.
Bueno, yo creo que ya está bien, mija.
And yeah, that's a lot.
Mira, ven.
So this is the masa in its current form. It's in about a 5-gallon container there.
Porque tiene bastante.
So here we have our pasteles making station now that we've prepared everything. So let's just see what everything is and what it's for. So over here we have the masa that we mixed with all the plantains and banana and squash and all the caldo from the pork, and Grandma also added some coloring like achiote and paprika, things like that. So that's all in there, and evaporated milk. Then this is sort of like some of the grease left from the achiote mix that Grandma was making, as well as some more excess caldo, I think. And this helps keep the masa, forming to the shape of the plantains and the shape of the pastel. Here's the meat. So you can see Grandma's already started, so she put a little tablespoon of this grease, and then she added a ladle full of the masa. Now she's adding about a tablespoon and a half of the pork. And then I believe the rule is 1 olive per pastel. No olives left behind. So here's, Grandma's forgetting it though. She's already wrapping it over here.
No,
okay.
She's
She's passing it on to the, and then we have a little bowl of jalapeno peppers from Uncle Manny's special pastels. And then to demarcate the different pasteles, so we're making pork, corned beef, and also spicy corned beef, spicy pork. So we have excess banana leaf bands and twine rope that we'll be using to tie, as well as this pink material to differentiate spicy from non-spicy. So let's begin.
Bianca.
So this is going to be a spicy one. So Uncle Manny, in addition to adding 1 olive, is adding some jalapeno pepper. Let's zoom in on this deliciousness. And then he begins the folding process. Oh, there's a little bit of squish out there.
Got a hold.
That's the banana leaf's fault, not your own.
So make sure you get that down.
On the record. For the record, it's not Uncle Manny's fault, it's the banana. So you taper the ends and then you fold it over.
And then you fold them over.
And so is 1 complete pastel, and now it needs to be tied, and Dad is at the tying station here.
Yeah.
And this is the assembly line. Grandma makes the pastel. She assembles the pastel. Uncle Manny adds the olive and potentially some jalapeno, if that is the case. He folds it, passes it on to Dad, who ties it in a nice bundle. And since this one was spicy, there's a pink ribbon to denote that, and he will wrap that around as so.
This is a very large pink ribbon.
And I need to cut the rest of the ribbon. So.
Bianca, your next project should be. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you recording?
Yeah. What's up? So we are following a day in the life of a pastel from start to finish here. This is a little assembly line that my family has going. Uncle Manny, Grandma makes the pastel, puts the masa with the meat and the grease. Uncle Manny adds an olive, sometimes jalapeno, depending on whether it's spicy or not. Does a masterful folding job to seal the pastel and all the flavors inside. This is how the pastel takes its shape. Aluminum foil is the wrap. He hands it over to Dad. The wrapper. And these are all the different kinds of wraps that we use. Green is corned beef. Pink is spicy pork. And that means with jalapeno, which are right there in that bowl that Uncle Manny just added to this one. And white is just normal pork. And my dad is the wrapper.
They call me the wrapper.
Very efficient. As always, Hispanics are an industrious people.
Present company accepted.
Bueno, mija, pues ya
This is the line. Grandma here. Uncle Manny, he was just there. That's his folding station. There's another pastel waiting to be wrapped. And this is our finished product. I like to call these pastel bricks, but I think they're just called pastels. Pasteles. The pink ones are spicy.
Silver ingot.
White ones are normal. Both are pork right now, but we will have corned beef shortly. Let's go look in the fridge. So this is the secret vault of pasteles. Ah, the fridge door is going crazy. So as you can see, the older ones are stacked on the left, spicier on the left as well, next to the old ones, and the new non-spicy are in there on the right. This is our vault, which we are currently still stacking with silver ingots. And here we have the fruits of our labor. 8 pastels, 2 pasteles, 2 for each, that we will be eating for lunch when we're done. How hot is this? Yum. And here's the achiote sauce, and there's some rice that we're going to eat. We were watching Uncle Manny unveil one of the first pasteles of today's effort.
What flavor?
And toil. And
jalapeno flavor.
This is a spicy one. You have to be very careful because there's a lot of steam. These are just boiled and steamed to be cooked. If you remove both the outer aluminum foil and the inner banana leaf wrapping, this is a very dangerous enterprise.
All right.
And so the unveiling of the first pastel is now.
It's looking good, Bianca.
Wow, be careful. I see the jalapenos. It's gorgeous. Just a masterpiece.
Gorgeous pastel.
So much steam. Difficult for the camera to focus. And here we are enjoying the fruits of our labor. We got Dad's pasteles here.
Holy. Well, mine are pretty holy still.
Mine.
Yours are both pecan.
I've started eating.
Are they?
Oh, you got one unspicy, Uncle Manny? Here's Uncle Manny's. Ooh, those look good. Yum. And of course, Grandma's.
Yeah, yours are both spicy, so not.
No me go a mí, mía.
So what happened? Mom got it?
And finally, we have the mysterious vault of pasteles. As you can see, there are approximately 90 here. It's quite amazing. And these will all be for Christmas. There's some in the back as well. If you can't see, I can move this one. There are also pasteles in the back. This is a double stack. To the far left are the pork spicy. In the middle front are the corned beef spicy. And there are non-spicy of both as well.
Take care, your man.